Alright, so Chapter 4, Section 2, we're looking at coming up with the best fit line, the regression, least squares regression line. And the idea with this line is that it's going to minimize the distance between all the points. So you can always draw a line, but what's going to be the best fit line? And so when doing this, we're going to do something similar to what we did in the last section. I bring up number 2 is because there are formulas to figure this out if you know what the mean of your x, the mean of the y, the standard deviation of your x, the standard deviation of y, and the correlation coefficient. There are formulas that you can use, and the book may ask you to use at times in the homework. Here's how you find your slope. You take your r value and multiply it by the standard deviation of y divided by the standard deviation of x. To find your y-intercept, your b value, this is just a y equals mx plus b. We're finding a line. You take to find your y-intercept, you take your mean of your y minus the value you got for the slope times the mean of your x's. So this is a way to do it by hand once you find some pertinent information, some descriptive statistics about your data. What I would prefer you to do is, here's your data, right? So here are our values that we're looking at. If I want to come up with the equation, I'm going to open it up in StatCrunch. We could verify their R values, their means and standard deviations real quick to see how they did. They just did a summary stat of, both columns are x and are y. So let's pick both of them. Remember to hit Control to get both of them. And if I hit Compute, I'm getting the standard deviation. I could also add, let's see if it'll, don't let me add correlation, but we could do that as well. And let's just verify that these are the same numbers. There's your mean of your x and your y. Your standard deviation of x is 2.4221. So all this looks similar, right? But if I want to find the regression equation, instead of using the formulas that are here in the book, I would prefer you to go to Stat, Regression, Simple Linear, and say my x's are my x, my y's are my y's, and have it compute. Because one, we're going to see there's that correlation coefficient that they had with the question. Right, so there's that negative 0.9584 right there, right? But here's your equation. Here is your y equals. Now, they do put these backwards, so be aware of that. Your slope is the 0.7625x. So it's a negative 0.7625x plus a positive intercept. And again, here's your slope, here's your intercept. So whether we use the calculations that the book had or we use StatCrunch, we're getting the same answer. And so this is the method I prefer you to use. So use StatCrunch to get your line of best fit. And again, we also can look at this and see the scatter plot and see the line of best fit that goes through it. So I think that will be helpful when you're doing your problems. One more idea that's going to help with this section is when you're doing this, the idea of the line of best fit is when you use this to predict things. So we have values of 0, 2, 3, 5, 6, 6. Well, let's say I wanted to predict when someone gets a 4. Here's one thing that I can do. So once I plug in my x and my y, I can do predictions of y. And to do that, I just plug in, okay, how about for 4? And it will give me my predicted value. My y predicted value is a 3.4625 based off of this equation that we found. So I think that'll be extremely helpful and doing section 2's homework.